Hello everyone. I am just getting logged on. I got to get out of one browser and into another and make sure that you guys can find me. So, closing everything down. I had some problems with bandwidth earlier this week. So the internet wasn't behaving with my online live. So I shut everything down. I reset my router and we went again. It's a little dark in here tonight. I hope that you guys are doing well. When you are here, just say hello and maybe share where you're from. I'm very excited to see everybody tonight. Oh, let me see. Online workshop. Yeah. Hopefully you're finding me okay, because I'm not finding me yet. I'm just waiting to see your comments come through. There we go. Online workshop, I found you. Yay. Oh, look, okay, there's your comments. I'm not seeing your comments on my screen, but I got the computer up now and we're good to go. Maine, Carver, Mass, Racine, Wisconsin, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Oh, we're all over the United States. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. It's so good to see you. Lucy was here in the studio this morning. Hi, Lucy. Oh my gosh, I have some really beautiful cards to share with you. And Lucy, that mark never came off my sample. I don't know what it is. I think it's Winkastella. But anything can happen when something isn't wrapped here in the studio. But I have some really awesome cards to share with you tonight. So as you guys know, this particular workshop is geared towards new stampers. So if this is your first time stamping, please let me tell you that anyone can do stamping. It's not difficult. And I am willing to send you the free cut packet in the mail with any $35 order. And actually here, this is what the packet looks like. And in your packet, you get all the ribbon that you need and you get all the embellishments that you need. What you need is you need your own adhesive, your own stamps, and your own ink pad. And we used 2 different colors of ink. Tell me that they made the table. Oh, they did. It's always when you got to demonstrate live, especially when there's more than, 2 people hanging out at the table, you feel like you're under the gun, but I've got it. So let's just flip the camera and we'll jump right in and I'll show you, first of all, what you would need to recreate these cards on your own, okay? So let me just flip the switch here, ta-da, and you saw that my drawers are open over there. But I'm just going to cover the camera while I get you into the camera. It's yipping at me that I need to rotate my phone, but hopefully we're going the right way now. Ta-da! Everything's open in the studio tonight. Usually those cabinet doors I slide shut so that you can't get any light in there. This is what our packet looks like. And like I said, you get a full strip of pearls that you can use on your project. So what I would recommend that you have, and what I have on my table is I have an adhesive bin, and it's got glue dots and dimensionals, and this is Seal Plus and some liquid glue, and of course the take your pick. And I can't live without Winkastella. I think I have about 6 of them open in the studio right now, but just one here on my table. Hi, Donna. Hi, Jenny. I'm so excited. Kentucky, North Carolina. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so before we started, I went into the online group and I shared with you the supply list. And that is number 1 for me, so that I don't miss anything. And this is on the last page of the PDF directions that I can send out with your $35 order. But what you would need to assemble these at home is you would need the Easter Friends stamp set and these 2 colors of ink, Pale Papaya and Sahara Sand. You're also going to need a Post-it note, and I would recommend a blending brush and Winkastella. And then your adhesives. Everything else, the pre-cut cardstock, pre-tied bows, I do all of that for you so that you can just have fun and stamp. So these are all the things that I use to create your packet, but you don't necessarily need all of them. I'm gonna provide you with the pearls and the pre-cut ribbon. So let's dive right in. I wanna show you the first card. And if you have questions as we go, feel free to key them in and I'll come back to them and answer any questions. This is a stamping mat. It wasn't on the supply list, but they're just $5, I think. It's supposed to be a piercing mat for piercing, a piercing template, but I use them whenever I'm stamping because my plastic table isn't that sturdy, so I like a nice solid stamping surface. Hey, Peggy. Hi, Anne. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. There's nothing like a good crafty night. And this is like a crafty night in. So we've got our little bunny guy here. So what I need to start is this pre-cut packet, and I've done all of this for you. And if you do decide to place an order, all of the measurements come through with that PDF. It's already done. So I just have to mail your packet and send you the directions, and this would be the video that would go with. But this one's a little bit different because it's interactive. You get to ask questions as we go. I'm also going to pull in a white sheet. Forgive me, this is like my retreat list, but I did the seating today. I like having a white piece of paper and a black piece of paper for stamping so that I can double check and make sure that my words are face up. And here we go. I can stamp the My Friend at the bottom on the left-hand side. This is such a cute set. And then our bunny. So I'm using the Sahara Sand ink pad. I stamped, when I first got this bunny, I stamped him in every color. I tried stamping in pastel colors. We tried gray, but then he kind of looked like an old bunny. And Alexis and I decided that he needed to be stamped in either Sahara Sand or Crumb Cake Brown. But there he is. Isn't he sweet? Hey, Val. Well, I'm glad. Just be careful driving and listening. No getting excited over stamping in the car. Oh, I'm so glad you got the email, Tammy, and that you got your directions okay. You know, if you're ever stuck and you get a packet from me in the mail, all of my classes, I label them with the name of the stamp set. So if you ever don't get the directions for some reason, you know, I swear, email eats my directions. Sometimes they go in that spam folder or whatever. Just email me and I can email them out to you, but I need to know which class it was that you took when you email me, because that helps me know which one that you're missing. So this is CL Plus adhesive, and I recently had a customer that was really frustrated with it, and we had like a little one-on-one. And honestly, I would love to tell you that I've never had any problems with them, but I have. This one was a dispenser, you can tell because it's not completely full. But I will tell you, the biggest tip that I can give you is when you're releasing the adhesive, to not hold it down like this, even with the table, but to hold it up so that the next time you go to put adhesive on, your adhesive's going to be right there at the top. So now that we stamped our bunny images, all we have to do is layer these together. So this designer paper is so pretty, and let's just pull in the name because you know I already forgot. It's the Pansy Petals. It has 3 different patterns with this gingham. And gingham is so hot right now. I love working with it, and it's really pretty and spring, country spring, you know? So then I'll just attach my ribbon, and this is all pre-cut in your package when you get it, to the back. This is the open weave ribbon. and it didn't stick, so I'm hoping that I put the adhesive back there. Although it is getting a little bit chilly in here, I shut my heater off, the blower, because it gets a little bit loud when I'm making videos, so it's a little cold, but we'll have to warm up by crafting together. All right, so for this one, I did something a bit different than normal. I slid this underneath before I stuck the ribbon on, so I got sidetracked when I was jabbering there. So when you go to stick yours together, make sure that you slide the die cut underneath. These die cuts come out of the Stitched So Sweetly die cuts, and I have already cut all of these images for people taking the class. Lucy already got her package because she was here today, and she says, oh, can I have one and craft along? And I said, yep. And that's what we did. She took it home with her. So this is adorable, isn't it? And that's the first card. It's really quite simple. Easy for a brand new stamper. Now I have this strip of pearls here. You might see it better if I move the white paper. This is my Take Your Pick tool. And the Take Your Pick tool has this putty end. My friend Chrissy was at an event and won a Take Your Pick tool, and she said, hey, I have something to donate to you. And I said, what? She says, it's this Take Your Pick thing. I don't really need it and I don't want it. And I'm like, oh, yes, you do. And then when I showed her what it was, she was like, oh. So you really don't need a lot of putty at the end. You want to just advance it until it comes out the top. And then you want to back off. Otherwise, it's going to keep coming out, like sometimes like with a tube of toothpaste or whatever. But you want to avoid that. And then you just pick up what you want and you slide it off the transfer sheet, slide it to where you want it, and then push down. So it makes it super easy. It's like a grab nabber to put these embellishments on, and you don't need an extra set of hands or anything fancy. But it's a great little tool. I think it's like $10. Okay, so that's the My Friend card, and we will move on. Lots of friends here. So Jane, that's a good question. Up in the top of the description, and you know what? I'm thinking that maybe my phone didn't paste it in. There's a host code from my online store. So all you would need to do to get tonight's 4-card packet is to place an order for $35. Now, you'll get like a strip of the pearls, and you'll get the ribbon, and you'll get all the cardstock. You need your own stamps and ink and adhesive. If you spend $50, instead of a strip of pearls, I'm going to send you a whole pack of pearls. And if you spend $100, well, I'm going to send you a surprise in addition to those two things. So I'll look at your order and I'll send you a surprise based on what you ordered. But that's a good question. Thank you, Leslie. I think it was Leslie. Nope, it was Jane. Thank you. I usually have an assistant here, and my assistant Alexis is off to a college fair tonight. She's learning how to apply for all the colleges that she wants. Can't believe my little girl is going to be going to college. I have been doing Stampin' Up! For 16 years. Next month on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, is my anniversary. And Alexis is 17, so I've been doing this since she was a baby, and it's been my full-time job the whole time. And I love it. I'm very lucky. I have an awesome team. We're almost 100 people, and we go from coast to coast. And some of you are on here. If you're on my team, say hello from the Stampers with Heart. Lucy's on my team. There's a few people here. Jerry's here. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't put my stickers on the back, and it does annoy some people that are in the studio, but I always end up putting them on crooked anyway, and they stick so much better to the block when you don't use the stickers. So I use them like this, but see, like the My Friend and the Happy Easter, I put them straight so that they line up with this little line on the side of the block. And then I line the block up with the paper, and then my words are always straight when I stamp them on my project. So that's the most important part for me. This little duck, if you stamp him and you turn to the left and then you turn to the right, he looks like a totally different stamp but all I did was turn my image. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the left, booyah, and to the right, and then he's gonna hold his buddy's hand like that. And they are gonna be happy little Easter bunnies, or Easter ducks. All right. So I made this paint palette earlier for Stamp Club, and all I did was I took one of our clear envelopes and I put a little bit of the Pale Papaya ink refill on there. So if you're looking at the dark spot, that is pure re-inker. So I'm gonna go to the side a little bit and pick up some re-inker. Now, if you don't have a re-inker, it's no problem. You can start out a paint palette by opening your ink pad, in theory, and then smushing it on the ink and then picking up. The reason that I don't go directly into my ink pad with the Wink of Stella is I don't want the Wink of Stella in my ink pad, although I'm sure it would be very pretty. So I'm gonna use my Wink of Stella like paint and mix some of that Pale Papaya ink in, and then I'm just gonna paint with it. So I've got my duck bills, and I don't want it too dark because I don't want it to be overwhelming. This is like, they are pastel colors, but I think that both sets of flappers, both his little flappers on his feet and his flappers with his with his mouth should be a little bit brighter. So I went with Pale Papaya. Oh, that got a little bit dark. You can tell I went right into the re-inker for that, but if you're using an ink pad, it would be much lighter. So that's my coloring. And then I can clean my brush just on my cardstock, and now I'm ready to go again, and there's no color. So if I wanted to fill him in or brighten him up a little bit, I can go over him plain with the Wink of Stella, and it'll make my So Saffron cardstock just a tiny bit darker in the area where I stamped my duck. So that's it for him. Isn't he cute? Yay. Okay, so then again, it's straight assembly, and I am going to adhere the white onto my Sahara sand. And like I said, all the measurements are in the PDF. If you're a demonstrator and you would like to order this card class, and you do place an order to get it for free, know that my PDFs do not have my name on them, so you could recut once you have your packet in your hand. You can make up these cards, and then you can make them again with your customers or friends. I realize if you're a demonstrator, you might have another gig. This is my full-time job, so I come up with a lot of designs for a lot of demonstrators, and my classes do not have my name on them. So like the PDF, you could just print and go and stamp with your friends, and that's the whole purpose of stamping, right? It's a social thing. But I do ask, if you're going to give away my PDF, that you get an order, a $50 order, so that you can give my PDF for free, or a card kit like I do. Okay, so here we go, because I want you to do good too. That's how we roll in Stampin' Up. I want to see everybody do well. So I put adhesive down the sides and then attached my ribbon to those two sides, and now, like in one move, I can adhere that whole piece onto my card front. And then I can just attach the top. I hope I don't run out of adhesive. I think I'm getting towards the end of that one. We'll have to change the roll if we do, but okay. And now I'm gonna go back to my pearls and bring them up. And this time I'm gonna attach 3 pearls off my strand, and I'm gonna take a big one and put it down the bottom, and then a medium one. I like to call this a sprinkle. And then a little one. Looks like it's raining. Oh my gosh, and they are the cutest things ever, my dancing ducks. Hey, Ani. Ani is joining us all the way from Australia. She's my buddy from down under. Welcome. I'm chilly, so I'm rubbing my hands together. Maybe I'll start a fire if I keep rubbing them enough. All right. Is that not the cutest bunny ever? Thank you. Thank you, Leslie. All right. Thank you, Christy. So I thought when I designed this that I was the bee's knees. I really thought that I came up with this fold. And then this week I got a card swap that had the same fold and I was like, wait a minute, I thought I came up with this. But that happens sometimes in creativeness. You end up with serendipity that two people have the same idea at the same time. I scored this one at 1.5 and 7 to make the base, but it comes together in the middle, almost like a gatefold, but just not in the middle. Comes together on the side. The designer paper, instead of cutting it 5 1/4 by 4, I cut it to 5 by 4, and then I cut a 1 1/4 inch strip off the end. And again, all the directions for this end up in the PDF, but 1 1/4 inch strip off of the 5 by 4, and then these came off the same paper. So it was legit. I cut this first and then I cut it apart to make that. So we'll just adhere that onto the base because that's nice and easy. And a teensy bit crooked. Isn't that the way? I just have to slow my roll. Maybe it's time for a sip of coffee. Here we go. Yeah, it's really cute and it's not hard at all. So 1.5 and 7 is your score marks. You cut your designer paper 5 by 4 and then you cut again at 1 1/4 to cut that strip down, and then you're ready to go, and then it opens like this. So I wanted mine to be a gift card holder, so maybe I'll send a gift for Easter to my nephew, and or even maybe one for Alexis. But how cute is this that a gift card will fit in like this? Now I used Seal Plus, but for this I'm tempted, and I know it's not in the supply list, but this is Terran tape. And Terran tape is a tiny bit thinner than a typical tape runner. So I can get this even tighter to the edge and have more room for a gift card if I use Terran tape. I'll also tell you there's a little bit of a trick. I used to hate this stuff because I have trouble getting the ends up and I'd be there peeling forever. So there's a tip, that's the pointy side, where we need the spatula of the take pick tool, and you could do that, or if you have a skinny fingernail, mine have acrylic so they're not skinny, you just slip your tool under the middle and then lift, and then it pulls the Terran tape up much easier than it is to try and get from the ends. So that's your wow tip for the night, because that changed my life when it came to using this Terran tape stuff. It's the best tape, and all you do is rip a little bit off, but I could never get the ends to peel up. So now I'm good to go. So we'll push that down and seal it. Okay, so now there we go. Ta-da. Now my business card will fit right in there, but I can go either way, and it's not as tight as the first pocket. Like the first pocket I did with my Seal Plus, and it's just a little bit wider. Okay, so let's get to Stampin'. Is that not the cutest chick ever? Hey, chickie. All right, I want to bring in my scratch paper. Right? Isn't it cool? There's a whole bunch of stuff for spring. Today on my live, I do a live video every Tuesday, but I had to move it this week. We had a water problem in my kitchen. Never dull. But I had construction here on Tuesday, unexpected, because everything in my kitchen sink was leaking. The faucet, the connections underneath, and even the drain was leaking. We had a big puddle in the kitchen on Tuesday when we woke up. So I moved my live to today, but I showed a pulley card with this stamp set. It was really cool. I can show it to you at the end. And I also showed a strawberry set. So that video is already up on Facebook and on YouTube on my business page. So feel free to check them out. Is that not the cutest duck ever? Look, chicky. Walk. Oh, happy Easter, buck. That's the one. Makes me so happy. You can't fake that kind of happiness. I need my Winkastella back. Now I know I'm doing it right because I lost something on the table. All right, so I'm gonna go back in. I'm not gonna use the darkest spot, but I just wanna give his beak a little color. So that's that same ink palette that I used for the other card. And when I'm all done, I can get rid of this or use it on another card. Undoubtedly, if I let it float around the studio, I will stick my hand in it at some point. All right, so there's a trick to this. I'm gonna close this up first. We got a couple of tricks on this card. So I knew that I wanted this piece to kind of hold my flap down because it's gonna sit there, you know, and it does. It's nice and heavy, it's weighted. So first thing I'm gonna do is attach this to my die cut. These all came out of the Stitched So Sweetly dies, and there you go, I ran out of adhesive. Let's switch to liquid glue. There's another glue that we don't use all the time, which is pretty cool. It takes an extra minute for it to set up, but how I use it is in dots. So like just 4 little dots would be enough to attach this piece. But it does take an extra second to set up. Now, if you're the type of person that you like to be able to reposition your stuff because you don't get it down right away, this might be your glue because it doesn't take a lot of glue. It goes forever and ever, and you only need a little bit, but you do get time to reposition. All right, so now that this is stuck down, I demonstrated this card earlier this week for my team meeting because I used the same projects. And I had my ribbon in the final project going the other way by accident. And it does kind of take up some of the space, some of the empty space where that designer paper is going. So I really do want that ribbon flap thing to come off the back. So just pay attention when you're putting yours together that it's coming off the back and not going off the front like I did by accident, I think twice. But so I have my ribbon in the package and it was folded twice, so there's a seam, but I just put it at the seam and used that seam because it's going to be easier for me to tie it up. And now I'm going to take a block and lay it down because when my fingers get cold, I have no dexterity at all. So if you're like me, that'll help you because it just makes it so much easier to run the ribbon. I'm going to lay this down and tie it up. So now I've got that extra set of hands that I wouldn't have, thank you to my Happy Easter block. Ta-da! And now I can move that out of the way. And isn't that cute? It makes it so nice and neat. All right. So I'll tie it twice first, and then I'll make a bow. And if you're not a bow person, you don't have to make a bow when you get to this. You can tie it twice and then trim it down. But there's plenty of seam binding, baker's twine here. So if you wanted to try the bow, you can. Nobody ties a good bow out of the gate. It's gonna look big and bulky. But then you just hold on to the knot and pull on both sides to get your bow down. Ta-da. Ta-da. Yay, okay. So then scissors might help. Hey, Margarita. Good to see you. Yeah, you know what? I love going back to the main catalog at this time of year because honestly, pretty soon we're going to have to say goodbye to some of these papers. Maybe we'll get to hold on to them, but you know, I don't want to have to say goodbye, so I'm going to use what I have for now. All right, so sending warm and happy wishes. Now, if by chance your ribbon gets too loose, you can take your tape runner, which of course I'm out, and slide it back here and attach it. I should probably change this. We can do that. It's easy. So you open this up I repaired one of these this week. It backed up into itself, and I lifted one side of this cog, which is like, it's like a clock. I lifted one side of the cog and rolled it back up and actually got it back and working, which was crazy. I think it only actually happened once that I was able to do it successfully, but if you're there and it happens to you and you're willing to take your time and nobody's watching, it's very easy. So I'm just going to open a new one of these. And I can slip this right into, because I really do want some adhesive there. So if you are stamping this, and when I start, I always like fast forward till I get sticky. Now, when I'm stamping this and I want to put a little adhesive under there, I'm going to put 2 little spots of it. Now I can pinch, and any slack that was happening in my ribbon is now no longer there, okay? So finally, to attach this to my card, I don't want to put sticky all over it. I want to put sticky from here over so that it will attach to my card base without closing my card shut. So I'm going to start right down the middle, 1, 2, 3. And you know me. Somebody said to me in the class today, how many should I use? And I'm like, all of them. They were like, what? I'm like, I'll buy more. It's fine. Use them all. But I only want dimensionals on this half of my card. Otherwise, oh, look, the dimensionals on the bottom of that one. That's funny. And I didn't even peel that one off. It's fine. It's just about the height. So you want the dimensionals on that side over. And now when it opens, it won't interfere with the opening of that card. So that's the gift card holder. Can I get a whoop whoop? I'm going to have a sip of coffee before I jump into the last one. Send me a like if you're still there. I'm still watching your comments. Okie dokie. Whew. Chilly hands, chilly hands. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate them. Okay. No sad faces. I saw a sad face go by. I hope you're laughing and happy. All right. So here's the main event. This guy is awesome. And people have been asking me all week how I got the color behind him. So here we go. I'm going to pull just this piece so I can stamp my Happy Easter. And then I'm going to pull my bunny piece. You know, somebody said, I don't know if I like this bunny because he looks so sad. But when you put that color behind him, I don't know. He doesn't look sad to me anymore. I think he's a happy little guy. I think he's very realistic, which is why I don't want to stamp him in anything but brown. It was funny how that went. So I'm just going to ink up and I'm going to stamp him like straight on. Nothing fancy, right? And then same thing with my Happy Easter. I'm going to put that on the top left-hand side of my card up there. And I'm going to close the ink pad because, you know, if I don't, that's my Sahara sand. Okay. So earlier today, I also did more of these cards and I made this mask. So all I did was I stamped on a Post-it note and I trimmed it out with a pair of scissors. Really simple, right? And the top is still a wee bit sticky, which is what you need to lay this down. Thank you, Lucy. Lucy did this earlier. She did her stamping before she left. So you notice, even though I cut him out, I let the hair stick out so that if the light was coming from behind him, you'd still see the light through his hair, right? All right, so I'm gonna ink up with my blending brush and I'm just gonna pull, and then I'm gonna sponge off just a little on my scratch paper, and now I'm gonna make some highlight behind him. Oh, I love that. And every time I ink up, I'm sponging off a little bit, and that's because sometimes you'll end up with streaks if you forget to do the sponge off thing. And I don't want it to be streaky. I want it to be soft and pretty color back there. And I am making it a bit brighter because, I don't know, that makes me happy too. All right, so now when we reveal the Post-it note, bum, ba-da-da, he is begging for chocolate. I'll have to make something like a sweet treat out of him. You just gave me a great idea. I have a retreat coming up next weekend, and I haven't done the last gift yet. And I really wanted to do something food related, but then I didn't, and I kept going back and forth, and I decided today that I'm definitely gonna do a snack attack for them. So wouldn't that be great for a piece of chocolate or for a candy bar or something? So I'm gonna adhere these together, and then my designer paper is gonna go all the way to the bottom, and the designer paper is cut to the same size as the white, so it's gonna go flush right over the white at the bottom. If you wanted to add more color, you could bring it up a little bit and leave a little white, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna stay true to the first design, and which is epic for me. I can almost say that I never make the same card the same way twice. See, the liquid glue would have been good there because I'm a little bit off. Here, it's cold in here. Maybe it'll pop off. Oh yeah. Rip, rip, rip. I think it's gonna rip. It is cold enough in here though that it shouldn't. Ah, ta-da! All right. I just want to get it straight. Not bad. Excellent. All right, so now I'm gonna do the same thing that we did on the other card. I'm gonna put the adhesive on the back. Run the ribbon, and actually the ribbon goes after that die cut piece, so I'll have to slide the die cut under again. I get excited. All right, so the adhesive's going down the sides, the ribbon is stuck to it, and now I can stick that onto my card base. So cool. And how cool is it that these shapes from the Stitch So Sweetly just layer up so easy? That's the rectangle. And then this funky shape sits right on top like magic. Makes me happy. Okay, so there's that one. And I stuck that under the ribbon. So the only thing that's on top of the ribbon is this layer. He just makes me so happy. Oh my gosh. The cutest bunny ever. And he looks very realistic. So sweet. Now, I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but I gotta tell you, I am. I gotta paint him. He's so cute. He needs some wink. So some of that Sahara Sand ink might move for you. It's so adorable when you can get a little bit of color on there and shine. Oh my gosh. So cute. Now he's magical. And I dropped my, oh, there it is. So the pre-tied bow is already done for you in the package if you do get the kit. So again, you only need the stamps and the ink. Oh no. Oh, you're freezing. I thought you meant the video is freezing because that happened to me earlier this week and I was so frustrated for my customers and friends who are trying to watch. Darn technology. That's my bow, and I just stuck it there because it seemed like it made sense. And then I'm going to bring the pearls back in. I got my grab nabber on the take your pick from earlier, and we can, this makes it so easy to push down. If you don't have one of these, this is the most inexpensive happy tool. It does so many different things. And that's my Happy Easter cards. So again, let's bring back, I want to, oh, thank you, Leslie. All right, I'm going to flip the camera and read your comments and respond. So first of all, thank you, Leslie, because I'm just excited to be here. I did have to have a cup of coffee to spruce myself up. I don't know, sometimes after I eat supper, I go... So, but I am here now and I'm awake. Good luck. I probably won't sleep tonight. These are so adorable, and the card kit is just free with a $35 order, and I will also send anybody who places that $35 order on the host code, which should be in the description of the video above. If not, I've already posted it to the group. Let's see, if you spend $50 instead of $35, I'm going to send you pearls, a whole thing of them instead of just the strip, and you still have extra in that. And then if you spend $100, I'm going to put something extra in your package, and it'll be a surprise every time. So I just wanted to say thank you. I very much appreciate all of you being here. And now, because we have done like what I plan to do in record time, what time is it? It's like 45 minutes. That's got to be the fastest demonstration ever. Ask me anything. So I'll hang out for another couple of minutes, and if you have any questions about the cards tonight or about stamping in general or anything, let me know and we'll pull it out. So I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to do that, and I'm going to read through. So Jill's just coming in. She'll rewatch on the Facebook Live. Thank you. And yeah, Leslie, Joanne, I'm sorry you're cold too. I'm freezing. It is what it is. And I'm going to have a piece of chocolate when I get off, Robin. And it's a great designer paper for Easter. Like all the gingham makes me happy. Actually, I said that I would show you. Joanne, message me. I can do that. We'll work it out. I usually sell my PDFs for my other classes for $15, so we can work that out. Yes. Let me get the card from earlier while I'm waiting for your comments to come through. This is the cutest card ever. I had a friend show me how to make one of these. And of course, I used the same set that we used tonight. Ready? So I used the same set, and then I saw flowing flowers, and this, I know it's backwards, but it says time for a happy dance, and it pulls out from behind, so you can pull back and forth, and it goes back and forth. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? So totally cool. But yeah, just message me, and we can make that work. But I'm very excited about that. So yeah, it was great to stamp with you tonight. Lucy, I hope that Doris is also watching. And if she's not, maybe she'll catch up later. Let's see. It's a cute fold. Yeah, it is. It's a different fold. And Jane Perkins, if you need help with placing your order, just message me and I will get to you either tonight or tomorrow. It is getting kind of late and I'm more of a morning person. And Tammy, I'm so glad you got your email now that you have your packet, and everybody's good. I think you guys are good. Oh, so Lucy and Doris are doing these projects together tonight. That's awesome. Nothing like stamping with your sister. That's the best. All right. Well, I don't think that we have any questions. Right? Happy dance. Well, it's funny because the Flowing Flowers stamp set, it's all like flowers and, there's, it seems more serious. And then Time for a Happy Dance, I'm like, that goes with the duck. Totally. I mean, who doesn't love dancing ducks? All right. Well, I've jibber-jabbered enough. Thanks for watching tonight, and thanks for joining me. I hope that you got a little bit of a crafty escape for 45 minutes anyway. And if you need anything or if you have questions on how to get your packet, just buzz me, and I will be happy to help you. It might be tomorrow before I get back because I am getting kind of tired. I might go to bed tonight early. But good night. Have a good night. Love you guys. God bless.